Hello, Maurieo Vlogs, number 213, tea. Hello, welcome. Well, I love a cup of tea, me. That's definitely my favourite drink. And I find it quite refreshing. And, yeah, quite often I'll stop and have a cup of tea and a bit of a thought in that. And I've been drinking tea pretty much since I was maybe first had my first cup of tea. Since I was 10 or 11, I would think, possibly. I can't remember when I had my first cup of tea, but certainly I quite often would sit down and have a cup of tea with my mum, brew a cup of tea or make a cup of tea. In the old days, we used to, before we even had tea bags, we used to have the loose tea leaves and make a cup of tea. Awesome. Had some great old chats. The cup of tea, and then of course when we went to work and had the tea, morning tea and afternoon tea with the tea lady that used to come round and make the tea and drop it off at our desks and stuff like that, so it was always good. And then tea breaks, there's always tea and lately coffee provided at all the workplaces I've been in, so we could always go and have a cup of tea. In fact, I'm just thinking now, we used to have a tea lady at Huntley College when I worked there. Velma was the tea lady and used to make the tea. I think they might even had a tea people that made the morning tea at Ngaruahia High School as well. So they were always quite people of character and things like that. So I enjoy a cup of tea, and I probably drink maybe minimum of 4, 5, 6 cups a day. Hasn't done me any harm. Yeah, so interesting history tea. Developed in China, and it's a relation of the camellia bush. I've always found that to be quite amusing. Well, it seems it has that name, so the same family. It's known for various names around the world. The main three are being tea, a cup of cha, and chai, at which I've experienced all of them. I've watched Ain't Half Hot Mum, where they have a cup of cha, or the English call it that sometimes in some of the programs I've watched. And then of course the chai latte, which is present in the cafes and things like that. I'm not too keen on the chai latte, and more recently watching one of the Joe Garati's vlog where he has bubble tea, and I've been on the lookout for bubble tea, but I haven't been able to have any yet to report on that experience. So tea is widely drunk around the world. In fact, my research shows that it's the second most drunk sort of thing. It's the second most popular drink around the world, the first one being water. So quite interesting, and it has an intriguing history from the way that it was bought initially from China and then made its way around the world, stolen by various people. The clipper ships were developed to get tea fast into Britain, and things associated with it. The British couldn't get too much tea, or they thought that the paying for it with silver was too expensive, so they decided to pay for it with opium, which then had its various problems for China. And then the various tea cultures that have developed in the various countries are all quite intriguing and interesting, all around a bit of dried up camellia bush that is sort of steeped in various hot water and substances like that. So yeah, I had a few cups of tea today, and they're very, very refreshing, and I'll probably once I've finished this vlog, I'll go and have a cup of tea. Very good. So, my background today is this guy here, and he's associated with one of the popular tea brands in the British colonies, shall we say, or the countries that have a British, certainly a British influence. We have it's a brand we have here in New Zealand. I've encountered it in America actually, but there is a slightly British influence there way back in my things, and I've no doubt that it's available in Australia as well. So it's a quite well-known brand, and this is the originator of the brand, who initially started up a coffee house and then started selling tea, and his tea became very popular. The dried sort of takeaway tea versions became very popular, and from there his business grows and it survives through to today. So he was born in 1675 born, so his brand of tea is quite well known. So yeah, put in his name in the comments below if you can work out who this man is. Alrighty, now yesterday's theme, of course, was a soft landing, and I've got this guy here is an American economist, Alan Greenspan, who was, I think it's chairman or was the head honcho at the Federal Reserve, and is credited with engineering a soft landing for the American economy during his time in the Federal Reserve. I think he retired in around about 2005, 2006. So prior to that, he managed to, or is credited by some but not all, with managing an economic soft landing for the United States, which is a sort of a landing that's non-inflationary, so very gentle, soft landing. So that was Alan Greenspan. So here we are at the end of vlog number 213, where we talk about one of my favourite drinks, tea or cha or chai. My background today is a Chinese tea house where tea originated, and there are many traditions around tea. Perhaps one of the most interesting ones that I found in my research that I did for the vlog, full 20 minutes or whatever, 10 minutes, was I always thought the pouring of tea from a height was, a bit of a joke thing that people did. My mum used to say, "Hi, tea," and pour it from high into the cup. But no, apparently it's very much associated with enhancing the flavour or aerating the tea to bring out the flavour in the tea. So that is the height of the pour in some cultures is very important. And also there's another one of pulling the tea, where the tea is poured from one cup to another vessel and back and back and back to again enhance the flavour and to introduce some bubbles into the tea. And this has the effect of changing or enhancing the flavour. So some of these things that I always thought were a bit of a joke are actually quite an important part of the actual tea rituals and that are developed around the various cultures associated with tea, chai or cha. So, on that happy note, I'll finish up and go and have a cup of tea. Cheers! See you!